Hi, I'm Steve Hardline with Mix Mornings here on MixTV.tv. It's our best of collection, some of our most interesting and fascinating interviews of this year that we're putting together for you in this special edition of Mix Mornings served by Taziki's. Enjoy.
It's Mermaid Mattresses $1 Million Mattress Clearance. Enjoy deals on nearly all in-stock merchandise, with queen mattresses starting at $149. An additional 25% off floor models. And sales tax is on us. Mermaid Mattress.
We're here at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
We are here with great service. We're here. We're here.
We're here.
We're here with great deals. We're here for you.
So come get huge Nissan savings when you shop Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland and Cleveland-Nissan today. Home of the exclusive lifetime warranty.
Wholesale Supply Group, you've heard the name for years. The experts trust them, and you should too. Whether you're building, remodeling, or just maintaining your home, Wholesale Supply Group has all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products you need to supply any project. With great brands like Delta, Kohler, Rinnai, Mansfield, Progress Lighting, Square D, GE, and Milwaukee, Wholesale Supply has everything you need. Check out the locations in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Athens, Dayton, Madisonville, Dalton, and Chatsworth. Online, wholesalesupply.us. And remember, Wholesale Supply is open to the public. Good morning, everybody. And we are joined now by the Chancellor of Lee University and the longtime president, Dr. Paul Kahn. Now, let me just begin by saying your wife was supposed to come, but apparently she's made a smart decision to not join.
Well, actually, you know, the audience was spared something really special this morning. She was going, you know, she's a pianist.
I know.
So she was going to play the piano, and I was going to sing.
Weren't you in a choir at one time?
Oh, well, that's nothing like what I was going to do today. I had a couple of old Hank Williams tunes. Not Hank Williams Jr. for your younger,
Okay.
The actual Hank Williams.
The real one.
Yeah, and she was going to play for me. You know, she's got a master's degree in accompaniment, you know, a collaborative piano, they call it. So when she learned that you had no piano.
It's okay.
Yeah, so.
Out.
Exactly.
Ain't happening.
She said to me, Paul, when are you going to go to a kind of a higher level show where they have a piano? And I was going to do a little of I'm so lonesome I can cry.
Blue eyes crying in the rain.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
thought maybe a little Why Me Lord. That's not a Hank Williams
J.D.
song.
Sumner wasn't really
that's Chris
available.
Christopherson, but unfortunately, my radio musical career.
It's over.
It's delayed. I'll just say it's delayed. Yeah. You know, Tony Bennett, he continued to sing till he was 98?
Yeah.
So we still have a few years.
You've got a few years on that. Well, we're so pleased to be joined by Dr. Kahn. And first of all, here in a couple of weeks, we're finally going to get to honor your presidency, which was delayed by the pandemic and everything else. But what does this mean to you that the university is dedicating homecoming to you and Darlia?
Well, yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. We had a little hiccup there called a pandemic. This was scheduled for March of 2020. They had all these elaborate plans to have. I think they have an official name for it, kind of a classy name, like they do over there.
Yeah, they do.
But now, we in my office, we were referring to it as the Big Fat Farewell. And that's still what we're referring to. So COVID hit. We rescheduled it from March until August 1st. That was the day I actually was leaving the office. And COVID hang around, we weren't able to do it then, and so then we put it off. And meanwhile, we had a new president, and I felt like it's really important to have an inauguration for our new president. So President Walker and I kicked that back and forth. First he said, "No, I'm not going to be inaugurated until you are properly honored." And then as time went on, I said, "No, you need to be inaugurated." So he agreed to go along with that. We had a wonderful inauguration last spring, and then they said, "Okay, if we can get COVID settled down, we'll do that at homecoming. So that's the long, winding road that got us here. And now I'd like to sing a song called Long Winding Road.
You know, the Beatles, they have anyway, we'll talk off the air. There's I learned of a special coming out next month that you will love and we all love. Why, we're joined by Dr. Paul Kahn. Why do you think your administration was so successful for 35 years? What happened? How was it? Yeah, just.
You know, there would probably be a serious answer to that somewhere, and there are other not so serious answers. I'll just say this: a lot of people came together, and we use this cliche called the vision. They bought into this vision we had, the dream we had, the idea we had of making Lee a much bigger, better place that was much more inclusive, that was much more deeply embedded in the Cleveland-Bradley County community, that offered a much wider range of programs. You know, there were a whole group of us. It wasn't just me. I was the guy that just happened to be on the point of the spear, but there was a group of us who came together in the late 80s, and this team was sort of created, one from here, one from there, and we really had a strong sense that this was our destiny, that this was our calling, and if you wanted to talk in spiritual terms, you know, a calling, it's our destiny, and that we could make some really exceptional things happen. That's when that slogan, expect something great, which I just heard earlier this morning on a spot we had on your show, expect something great, kind of grew out of that feeling that, you know, we have the ingredients here of something really exceptional. So yeah, when I get to a point like this, I have no idea what's going to happen in this program.
Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah, you know, we could be like telling me what I'm going to get for Christmas, because you know, there's this illusion that surprises are good. You know what I mean? Honestly, have you
That's
ever?
what we're talking about.
Have you ever known of a good surprise?
Well, sure. Sure, I have.
I
Come
have.
on, Dr.
I've never been surprised when it didn't exceed my comfort level. So I don't know what's going on because they keep telling me. I'll try to ask, and I'll show up to the planning committee meeting, for example, and I'll say, "Sir, no, you're not. No chancellors allowed here.
No chancellors allowed."
Yeah. So
one who chancels. We still run that, by the way.
But I do know they're going to talk about the 35 years, and I hope they will be recognizing some of these people, some of whom are no longer live with us, who were really a big part of this. One of the first people that comes to mind is an old friend of yours, Dale Goff.
Yeah,
you know, Dale. The story on that, I called Dale when I was vice president, and I thought I was going to get to be president. Dale was in Nashville working for Tennessee Department of Education. Yep. He and his wife Nadine and his daughters. He was an old college friend of mine. I knew he was the kind of guy who could get things done. So I called him and I said, "Dale, I think I'm onto something here. They've made me vice president." No, he didn't have any vice presidents at that time, so it was just me. I was the only vice president. Why don't you come over here and join the team here at Lee, okay, as an assistant vice president? We can get some great things done. And he said, "Paul, they're never going to let you be president of that place." He said, "Come on, get real here. Have you forgotten all about the realities?" And he said, "I'm not going to give up my job and move my family over there. You know, in this sort of futile hope, this fantasy that you might become president someday." And so I said, "Well, okay." You know, I was a little irked. I've been irritated 2 or 3 times in my life, and that was one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to make the move for a mere vice president. So sure enough, a year later, I became president. I called him back. I said, "Okay, Dale, you prophet of doom, you know, you negative, pessimistic guy. Now I am the president. Now will you come work with me?" And to his credit, he said yes. Wow. And he had a daughter who was about to be a high school senior. That was mostly what drove the decision not to come. But he did resign his job over there. He and Nadine and the girls moved over here, and he served for the first 19 years I was president as the vice president. And as you know, he was a real, what we would call today vice president for operations. We called it something different then. He was such a huge part of all the successful and some of the unsuccessful things we did in those 19 years. But I think back to guys like him who aren't with us anymore, and boy, I have such a sense of gratitude for them. They're not here to have this party, you know, and then many others who've been with it all the way, you know, who really have worked really hard. I was with Phil Cook. I just saw Phil Cook yesterday, and of course, you know, Phil resigned back in the summer, and he moved to a big-time job up in Indiana. So, but he's back in town for the wedding of his daughter.
Wow.
So he and I had a chance to visit, and we were kind of warming at the fire of all those, you know, 25 plus years he worked here, and all the ups and downs and the battles and the miles on the road. And so people like Phil, who's not here at Lee anymore, but gave such a tremendous effort for such a long period of time. So there's a long list of those, and I hope when they do whatever they're going to do Friday night, I hope there'll be a recognition of a lot of people other than Darlie and me, because there's a lot of people who deserve it.
We're joined by Dr. Paul Kahn, now the Chancellor of Lee University, and his presidency. 30 will be celebrated at Lee Homecoming in a couple of weeks here, first weekend of November. There's a lot of people listening right now, Dr. Kahn, that are here because of what you did at Lee University. We would hear about this. We would hear these people who would move to Lee from all over the nation, sometimes all over the world, and they fell in love with Cleveland, Tennessee, and they stayed. And I would say there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people listening to you and me right now who are here because of what you did. And you were the identification of Lee University for a lot of people. Really a generation. I mean, I'm a proud alum myself, a graduate of. Did I graduate? You told me you were.
Sure, yeah.
You were looking at the transcript.
I have it in the trunk
I'm still
of my
waiting.
car. I have it in the trunk of my car
Okay.
now. When the time is right,
please.
We want
let me know.
the time to be right.
It's been 21 years, so I'm still waiting. That's fine.
The time's not right yet.
But what does that mean to you that so many people came here and the effort that you talked about with these people and your team, and they came here and they loved it and they stayed and they worked, and now they're raising families?
Yeah, you know, that's such a huge part of the story, and I think that is generally recognized by the leaders in our community, or the people who think about these things. If you started with a list of, you know, some kind of hypothetical list, let's say, of 500 most prominent or biggest contributors to our community. Let's say you came up with such a list in some fantasy world. I don't know how you come up with such a list, but people in education and industry and business of all types, and public service and religious life. If you came up with that list of here are the people who are really making great contributions, who capture the personality of this town and this Bradley County region, and then you went down through there and you started to say, how did these people get to Lee? I think your point is right on. So many of them came to Lee, to Cleveland, because of Lee. You know, I just drove by Cleveland High School on the way out here, and as I was driving past, I rarely drive by there when I don't think of Autumn O'Brien. You know, so she's such a Clevelander. She's sort of the face of Cleveland High School. She's one of our dynamic young leaders, and but people stop to think, you know, she came from New York State as a recruited athlete, a softball player, and then graduated, went into teaching here in the area, married a young man from the area, and the next thing you know, she's one of the people shaping our community. I just thought of her because I just drove past her school, but they're everywhere, Steve, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud. We can go way back. My presidency went on so long Some of the early graduates that graduated in 88, 90, 92, well, they now, of course, have had children come, and those children have graduated. So Cleveland is really thrived, in my opinion, by the contributions of Lee grads, and that's the kind of thing. Cleveland gets the credit for that too, because here's what happens: they didn't go to this wonderful little college and they loved the college, but it was in a terrible little town, and so they couldn't wait to move on. No, they came to Lee, and loved Cleveland, and they wanted to stay in Cleveland. And we have so many people whom we recruited. We had 160 full-time employees when I became president. We're 600 full-time employees now. And of course, many of them come and gone. But so many people we've recruited to the Lee faculty and the team, the Dale Goff types, and who then their kids love this community. They grow up in this community. A typical neighbor of theirs would never know that this family is here because a family member was recruited to work at Lee. So yeah, we love being a part of the Cleveland community. And way back in '86 when I was inaugurated, that was a big part of my inauguration speech. I said, we've got to work to make this a reality. And I think that's happened.
We're joined by Dr. Paul Kahn, Chancellor of Lee University. Lee will celebrate, he and Darlia, for homecoming weekend, the big theme this year, finally. And I guess one final question here, Dr. Kahn. What excites you about the future of Lee University? What are some things that maybe come to your mind as you think about down the road, what's coming, what's in the future? What keeps you enthusiastic about the university?
Well, I can see directions we're headed that are going to make this next decade, Lord willing, a really dynamic period of development for Lee. I mean, we're not through yet. We've got some wonderful initiatives that President Walker is projecting and planning. We've got task forces at work on 4 different major initiatives that are important to him. The reason I stayed on as chancellor is because I really believe in him and his leadership, and I want to be part of this next period too. I was at Lee 15 years on the faculty before I became president, and that was an interesting period, and I enjoyed that very much. In that role, I didn't really intend to become president. Never thought that would happen. It was kind of a long shot, kind of a fluke, if I may use the expression. The church fathers roll the dice. I mean that. I mean that strictly as a metaphor. You understand?
Yeah, not the Lord clearing the temple out. No, not that, Dr. Kahn.
And gave me a chance to be president, but. But I've always said, I hope if I remain healthy, then I'll have a post-presidential period, which will also be enjoyable and productive, and that depended on them. They're choosing the right person as president. I think they definitely did that. We've got the right person. A lot of great things in our future, and I'm eager to be a part of it as we move forward.
You're a big sports fan, and I think you were. I don't know if we paid you for this, but I tell you, we'll pay you when I get my diploma. Yeah. You were our correspondent for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you
that's
remember
right.
that? You called me from Tampa.
Sure, absolutely.
I've got to tell you, one of the, I guess, if my thinking's right, which is debatable. One of your last accomplishments as president, I believe this is right, is that unbelievable track facility. Down on Parker Street. That just hit me as one of the. I mean, you're a huge athletic fan, sports fan of all types. Sports and athletics have meant so much to university. We all know about music. We all know where music ranks. Morning, Danny, and the rest of them. But that is an unbelievable. I mean, they could have an Olympic event there. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, by the way, you mentioned Danny. To people that have lived in a cave for the last 30 years, he's referring to the inimitable Danny Murray.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and so
I have to look that up.
So yeah, he is
He
in
nearly
it.
killed me.
Yeah,
he
well-
came up behind me at a gas station 3 days this week. 3 days ago. It was one of
Was
those
he
days.
carrying a gun?
What he did is he stuck it in my back. I didn't see him coming. Scared the life out of me, and then I saw it was him.
Well, when I was thinking about people that have made this thing work, so we could give Danny a hard time because he's such an easy target.
That goatee is where we begin.
But everybody else is beating up on him, so where's the sport in that? But for those of you who do not know, who just moved here from upstate New York, Danny Murray is the founder and conductor of the Voices of Lee. Lee's Cleveland's most famous singing group, musical group. But Danny was the first, when they told me I could be vice president and said, okay, you can put together a small team. You can have a secretary and one staff member. The first phone call I made was to Danny Murray.
Really?
Because I'd known Danny as a student. I was a faculty member. He was a student. We actually traveled together, and he had a little group that sang, and then I spoke, and we tried to recruit students to Lee. We're talking in the 70s.
Wow.
And I called Danny, and Danny at that time was the minister of music at the North Cleveland Church of God. So I said, Danny, come on over here, man. I mean, we can, it was that speech. We can do something special here. And he did. And that's the one guy who has been, the co-pilot. He's been by my side every step of this journey. And what an asset. I have been in places with Voices of Lee on numerous times where there were other college presidents because they're seeing some kind of big deal or something. And they will say to me, wow, I mean, I could build a big college if I had that going for me. Who couldn't? If you got Danny Murray and the Voices of Lee, who couldn't make your place grow? And so, yeah, he's been such a big part of all that, not just with Voices of Lee, but other things he's done as well. And and again, now here's a story about a non-Clevelander. Danny was from North Carolina, over in Burlington, North Carolina, came to Lee as a student, but there's many, many stories that begin this way. He fell in love with a local girl. Sounds like a country song in there somewhere. He fell in love with a local girl, and she was the sweetheart of Cleveland High School, Debbie Bilbo. She was literally the homecoming sweetheart of Cleveland High School.
Is that right?
She was the princess of Cleveland High School.
Yep.
And Danny fell in love with her, and even though it seemed that he was hopelessly striving for something far beyond him, but somehow God smiled, the skies parted.
Miracle.
Yeah, and so his wife Debbie. That's a great example. Now that we think about this theme of people coming from outside and staying. North Carolina boy comes to Lee, meets Cleveland girl, they get married. Now look at their family and their families, and so this radiates out in a lot of different directions. So,
Dr. Kahn, I know that you would love for people to come. A lot of the alums are within a driving distance of Cleveland. That weekend, and not just for your celebration, but really overall, it's a great time to come back. As they say, come back home.
Well, it sure is, Steve. And I let me say this: we're like everybody else. We're coming out of COVID. Yeah. It feels like Lee again this fall. Our kids went home spring break 2020 and never came back. It was so stunning. Colleges and universities around the country and schools, K-12s as well. But then last year we made it. We were okay. But we were under these fairly severe COVID restrictions, and we were having physical spacing and mask wearing everywhere, and so many of our activities, you mentioned our sports, so many of our activities just were not able to go forward. Musical events, travel groups, much of student life was kind of muted last year. Yeah. We moved forward, we were to teach the classes, but anyway. And, when you're teaching a class and everybody's masked up and you got a plexiglass shield between you and the students and you got a Zoom, it's just not the same. But here's my message to all the alums out here that are within driving distance. Lee, the real Lee is back. And COVID has allowed us to operate in a more or less normal way. We still have a few restrictions, but I know most alums, they can go many years, they don't come over to homecoming. It's always the first weekend of November, but this is a great year to come back to homecoming because you're going to see basketball and volleyball. We have that Volley for a Cure game that always features contributions to breast cancer, as you know, and with a brand new coach after Andrea. You've had Andrea Hudson and her sisters in here. New coach, new team. You got volleyball, you got basketball, you got soccer, women's soccer, and men's soccer playing on those fields, those new fields tonight. Beautiful. Ranked number 2 in the country.
Wow.
Now, if you get all your news out of Chattanooga, you would never know that, of course.
That's right.
Because to the Chattanooga media, life ends somewhere, at the Bradley County line. We understand that. We can tell when a larger city is threatened by its younger cousin. We can tell that, can't we, Steve? We've been through all of our lives.
You got it.
So, but we have the number 2 team in the country, NCAA D2 in women's soccer. And we got all that going on. We got the big musical show. And so Friday night they're going to do this thing where they're going to talk about the last 35 years. Saturday night they're going to have a big music festival and concert with all kinds of performers. And let me say to you guys, you are all welcome. You don't have to have an invitation to this. There's room. And we are moving forward. You don't have to show proof of vaccination to come to our events. And so please come join us and wander around. About that new sports facility, that was my last big hoorah, but boy, didn't that turn out great?
Oh my goodness.
And that was one of these classic partnerships between Lee, a private institution, and the county school board and Linda Cash and the whole county operation, providing that core of that property there. And the city, because we also acquired another piece of property which was given to us by the city. They owned that piece that was connected to the new Mayfield School. So you got the city school board giving us access to a big chunk of land, the county school board giving us access to a big chunk of land, Cleveland Public Works doing all the streetscape out there, which they're improving that whole streetscape. And then, of course, Lee being the primary mover of this project. But it is such a great project already. And I've already, just in this startup season, we've had a couple of high school and a middle school meet where there are hundreds of kids out there from all around this region, and high school and middle school, and of course college meets. And the reaction is invariably the same when these track and field coaches and these track and field athletes from all around Lower East Tennessee come in there. It's wow. What a fantastic facility. And I was so pleased that the board of directors decided to name this for my brother Raycon, because he's contributed so much to Lee over all these years, and the vision of how to cobble together about 4 different pieces of property. We bought a piece from the Fillar family. We got the piece from the city, from the county. Cobble all that together, totally re-envision and recreate the space, with hundreds of truckloads of field dirt and lots of excavation. You can create this whole new thing. All that's the genius, if I may use that word, that Raycon has. And he's done that over and over on our campus. So they decided to name this one for him. Wow. And one of the reasons that was pretty cool is he and I went to school there. We went to Bradley High School on that site.
That's right.
So Ocoee Middle was Bradley High School back in the day. Ray and I went to Bradley High School at the same time on that site, and to be able to sit out there, as I'll do tonight. Darlie and I are going to go to see the soccer teams play. They're playing there at the Raycon Sports Complex. To sit out there and look around and realize, let's see, where am I now? I'm in what used to be that scruffy little piece of ground between the creek and American Uniform.
Unbelievable.
And so what's going to be the Pie Center, has become the Pie Center. So, lots going on. And let me just say, thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for the way you've really believed in Lee as we've become we have become what we believe we should be in this community. And whether it's musical events, which we have so many of, whether it's athletic events, whether it's all types of other reasons to visit our campus, you're always welcome on the Lee University campus. And if you don't know what you need to do to feel welcome, you give me a call, because who they say, the Maytag repairman, the loneliest guy in town. No, the Maytag repairman, that's the second loneliest guy in town.
Oh, no.
The chancellor, that's the loneliest guy in town.
Well, you're launching your country music career right here this morning.
Give me an email, give me a call, and let me tell you all about how you can connect with what's going on at Lee, whether you're my age, if you can imagine. You can't imagine that, can you, Steve?
Oh, I can imagine.
Honestly, have you ever personally known anybody older than me? Oh yeah, Tom Rowland.
Tom Rowland.
Yeah, Tom Rowland.
Hey, he's always the example.
Yeah, that's right. But after Tom, then there's me, and then it drops down to. Do you remember Liberace? Joe Namath. You remember those people?
I do. Yeah.
The young Raquel Welch. If you remember that generation, then you're right in the.
Mick Jagger's 78, and he's still selling out.
He's still cool. He's
still selling out.
Still wears skinny jeans. They have to help him, I understand, get into his jeans.
That's a problem.
Yeah. But hey.
And him and Paul McCartney are in a beautiful war right now. I don't know if you've seen it. That's wonderful. Dr. Kahn, all I can say is thank you. Thank you for 35 years, but you're continuing in a new role. And we want everybody to come back home to Lee University first weekend of November, and go to leeuniversity.edu, and it's all right there. Great. Got a lot going on, and we'd love to have you come stroll around our campus and take a look. Tell Darlia we're going to get what we'll do next time, we'll get a piano from the music building. All right. Just bring it over. We've got a conference room, and she can just, as long as she wants to play. Sure. And you can start
I can sing, if I could get the Hank Williams songbook, it has all the chords on there.
There we go.
For me to play air guitar.
There it is.
Now,
that's right.
People underestimate the air guitar.
Yes.
Because it looks like you're just acting like you're playing guitar, but you have to still have your hands right.
Dr. Kahn, thank you so much.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming.
And for all your listeners, I enjoy hearing you in the morning, Steve, and enjoy being on your show.
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you here in a couple of weeks. Great to see you. It is, 7:46. He's also one of my coffee heroes. Him and Alan Lockerman and Beecher Hunter. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. A wonderful look back.
Dr. Eston Winger specializes in varicose vein surgery to help you live a fuller life.
Most everything that we do for varicose vein disease is done here in the office, and so a hospital stay is not required. We take most insurances here, and most vein procedures are covered by insurance, which most people don't realize. Or make an appointment, and I'd be happy to talk to you and evaluate your legs.
Schedule a consultation by phone, 423-472-5423.
I told my son to find me the nicest place to live in Cleveland. He said, "Dad, there's only one place, and that's Garden Plaza." And I moved into the patio home. Everybody knows your name from day one, and there's something to do all day long if you want to participate in it. You cannot possibly be bored at Garden Plaza. It is just great, and their food is outstanding. It's out of this world. And I'm so happy I'm here. Garden Plaza is it for me.
Medical Center Compounding Pharmacy and Health Center offers Bradley County's only state-of-the-art sterile compounding laboratory. We are here to customize drugs and medications that are not available commercially or over the counter. Maintain your health with medication designed to meet your body's specific needs. It's just what the doctor ordered. Put your health in the hands of trained professionals you know and trust. Medical Center Compounding Pharmacy and Health Center, North Ocoee Street. Phone 476-5548 or visit medicalcenterrx.com.
Ocoee OBGYN is a local and trusted women's care center in Cleveland, Tennessee. They understand that everyone's health needs are unique. Therefore, Ocoee OBGYN will deliver care that accommodates you. From routine annual exams and screenings to delivering babies, Ocoee OBGYN does it all. To plan a visit or get an appointment, give them a call at 339-8881. That's 339-8881. Or check them out at okoyeobgyn.com. Okoye OBGYN.
Need a metal roof for your home or business? Come see us at Best Buy Metals, a leading manufacturer of metal roofing products. Looking for great service? Check. Want to choose from a wide variety of metal roofing products? Check. How about complimentary takeoffs and free estimates for commercial and residential projects? Check and check. From small orders to semi-loads, we've got you covered. Literally. Best Buy Metals. Quality roofing that lasts a lifetime. Come see us today.
Mattresses end of year clearance. Save big at our clearance centers at our original factory on Lee Highway and in Fort Oglethorpe, where you'll find half price savings on national brands and locally made Mermaid mattresses. Only at Mermaid Mattress.
We're joined now by Dr. John Squires with Cleveland State Community College. You just told me your title. I already forgot it. It's so long. Who knows? What
Executive Director of Advancement and Planning, which is a long way to say I do whatever Dr. Seymour tells me to do.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
But John, we've got a wonderful announcement. I know the announcement's been made, but we've got a new Green Team member.
So I am pleased we have Jill Norton Woodruff with us. Jill comes to Cleveland State as part of the advancement team. Jill is going to be our Director of Annual Giving and Alumni Engagement. And I just want to stress the alumni engagement, because do you know how many graduates Cleveland State has?
I do not. How many?
22,000 graduates and certificates awarded over the years, okay? And I'll just tell you, probably half of those are within the last decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Cleveland State is one of the...
That's amazing, bro. That's a great stat.
Yeah. Cleveland State is one of the top, maybe the top, community college in terms of completion, in terms of degrees and certificates awarded. We had one of our best years ever this year in spite of COVID.
Yeah, I know. I guess Dr. Seymour may have told me, I read it somewhere, that Cleveland State was on only 2 community colleges enrollment went up.
That's exactly
in the state of Tennessee.
That's exactly right. Our head count is actually up this year, which is an amazing testament to teamwork at the college and especially the recruiters. But let's get to Jill. Jill is a resident of the area, longtime resident. She is the perfect person for this job. She has about 30 years in event planning, community relations, so forth and so on. And she was a student at Cleveland State, and her mother was a longtime faculty member in the nursing department, Judy Norton.
So a lot of history here, Jill. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. What does it mean for you to join this team at Cleveland State?
Well, I think probably the biggest thing for me, I've been in higher ed for about 16 years, and I recently had a role change at the institution I was at, and it was very community-based. And for me, just being born and raised in Cleveland, I would rather my efforts with the community and the institution it be in the community I live in. So
yeah, I think that's wonderful. And so, what are you hoping to do in this role?
Well, one of the big things is increasing alumni engagement. I think, just like John was saying, we have so many alumni in our area, and I would like to get them more involved and supporting the college and being even mentors to new students that are coming in.
We're joined by Dr. John Squires, also Jill Norton Woodruff. And what a day yesterday. We were there just for a second with your entrepreneurship, the George R. Johnson Entrepreneurship Center. And, that was an example, I think, of what Cleveland State really is all about.
That's exactly right. And so thank you so much to the George R. Johnson Foundation. I mean, they have been such a huge part of the, not only just the community, they do so much in the community, but Cleveland State as well. I mean, that was the George R. Johnson, area that we were in, and now they're sponsoring the entrepreneurship program.
Yes.
And if you look at all the elements, Steve, that were in that program yesterday, from junior achievement to the entrepreneurship and the small business development, so forth and so on. Really a great example of the community coming together. And it's not just about Cleveland State. Cleveland State will be the host of that center, but look at all those elements from around the community that are in that center.
But engaging alumni, you've got a massive amount of alumni, John.
That's exactly right. And Jill's the perfect person to do it. We were in the lobby. Wendy Hughes, her 2 children are Cleveland State alumni.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got all those stories out there that we need to tell. We
call that the Eller and Owens Green Room, John. So anyway.
Well, and speaking of the Johnson family, both Mark and Julia attended Cleveland State.
Yeah.
So it's
right. So Cleveland State alumni are everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we are excited to have Jill on board. She's going to knock it out of the park, and she's also in charge of things like Archie Manning.
Well, I was going to mention that while you're here, because look, Archie Manning's coming March 19th. What a great Christmas gift idea, guys.
Right. We were actually discussing we are going to do a giveaway of some tickets.
Oh.
So we'll definitely be doing
right
that.
Right here on Mix 104.
Yeah.
You should probably pick a real radio station. I don't know why here. No. We'll look forward to that. And look, I think, and I was reading, the Associated Press did an article about Archie's boys, Peyton and Eli, and their new ESPN show, which I think is the greatest new show of the fall season.
Isn't that crazy?
But it's brought the Mannings, and Archie was a part of the first 2 episodes of that. It's on Monday Night Football, but it's brought the Mannings even more to the forefront, and now, what perfect timing.
That's exactly right. And, rumor has it that you never know who's going to show up at the event, right?
I'm not talking to Seymour too much.
I mean, you never know.
You just never know.
We're making some connections.
Yeah, we're working the system, Steve. So
Peyton's got some good Cleveland friends.
I love it. Be careful who you listen to, Jill. Okay, over there.
We'll see, but it won't surprise me if Peyton pops in on the big screen or something. I mean, who knows? We'll see.
You just never know. Well, how can people get tickets while you guys are here?
Cleveland State website. It's the first banner you see on the Cleveland State website, and tickets are for sale, and VIP tickets are already almost sold out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people need to get their clevelandstatecc.edu.
Yes, and we also, if anybody listening wants to join us, we are signing up sponsors left and right, because we want to make this a cross-generational. I've told you this before, but we want to make this a cross-generational event. We have sponsors coming out of the woodwork saying, let me buy 20 tickets for a high school.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so we're going to have executives there, we're going to have community leaders there, we're going to have senior citizens there who grew up watching Archie, right? I mean, myself included.
Yep.
But we're also going to have high schools and Sunday schools and so forth and so on. So we really want to make this a huge community event.
Well, Jill, welcome to the Cleveland State team.
Thank you. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Great to see
you.
And
I wanted to add that I personally feel like, and I think everybody at Cleveland State does, even if you didn't graduate from Cleveland State, if you took classes there like I did, I consider myself an alum.
Absolutely.
So we want everybody that even took a class to come be a part of our alumni program.
That's exactly
Cleveland State Community College, all the information, clevelandstatecc.edu. And a big thanks to Bank of Cleveland. They're the sponsor of the Archie Manning event on March 19th. You're watching Mix Mornings, presented by Taziki's. It's the best of the previous year during this great holiday week on Mix TV.
Save a bundle at Eller & Owen's Furniture and Mattress. Furniture, mattresses, and decor. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to 40% off. Create a bundle, a sofa and chairs, end tables, a recliner, lamps and rugs, an entire room. Up to 40% off. Create a custom bundle and watch the savings grow. Up to 40% off. Look for Take Me Home Today tags. Bundle in-stock items. Special financing is available. Bundle and save at Eller & Owen's Furniture and Mattress.
This is John Davis, the trade-in man for Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, with great news. Interest rates are super low, and your old car is worth more than ever. So if you're wondering if you should be buying a new Kia, it's a no-brainer. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got $500 down and you make $2,000 a month, I'll do my best to get you approved. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where car buying is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
KiaofCleveland.com. The Vic Vascular team is leading the way in peripheral vascular care in our region.
Feeling of pain in your legs, loss of sensation in your feet or toes,
open sores that won't heal,
weakness when walking.
Do you have flow problems?
These are the first signs of peripheral artery disease, PAD.
PAD affects 1 in 5 Americans, and when untreated, can result in the loss of a limb.
If you or one of your loved ones are experiencing the signs of PAD, be evaluated.
We are Vascular Institute of Chattanooga. We can help.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank accounts too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Boom, boom.
Peyton Southeastern is hiring. If you are looking for a stable, long-term career, they have an immediate opportunity for full-time employment with advancement opportunities available. Potential to earn over $20 an hour. Apply now at jobs.kroger.com to work at Peyton Southeastern in Cleveland. That's jobs.kroger.com.
Seen purple? It's a sign you need new glasses. Come to the Purple Store, Eye Your Optical. Get your new glasses in about an hour and choose from over 3,000 frames, including the best designers. And you get the second pair absolutely free. We were purple before purple was cool.
Eye Your Optical.
Well, our friend Dr. Chabot is here with Rest Assured. Dr. Drew Chabot joins us. How are you, Doc?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
Doing good, sir. And boys, Rest Assured has really taken off here. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we're finding so many patients are just sick and tired of their CPAP units, and they want something different, something else to treat their sleep apnea. And that's where we really come in with the oral appliance therapies. So, you know, they had the big recall on the CPAP units for the cancer scare, right? So all those patients that needed a CPAP are now backlogged. So how are they going to get treatment while they're waiting for the new unit to come out? I mean, the supply chains hit everything. So that's another
excellent
nice,
point.
Yeah, that's another nice spot for us to fill in. And with the oral appliance therapy, not only do you not have to carry around a CPAP or deal with Darth Vader at night, you know, next to you.
People can't sleep. I mean, it's tough. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to wear them. I'm talking about the CPAPs.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, this, you know, it's a great way to go. If you cannot tolerate oral appliances, or if you have severe sleep apnea, you know, it's life-saving, right? So very important to get your sleep apnea treated. But if you can't tolerate that air being forced down your throat and the mask leaking around your eyes, drying everything out, what do you do? Well, that's where we come in, with the oral appliances. So not only does it stop snoring, but it, allows you to get the rest you need so your body can recover, so you do much better.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead now, Dr. Drew Chabot, rest assured, and how do people reach you? And we'll continue the interview, because I guarantee you, we got some ladies listening right now saying, if I could do anything to make my husband stop snoring, I'll do it. Yeah. So how do they reach you?
Yeah, so they can reach us. We're right here local in Cleveland. Phone number is 790-0123.
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah,
you've done some marketing before. Joined by Dr. Chabot, 790-0123.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. So tell me why you started this. Why did you get into Rest Assured? What really did it for you?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've been in dentistry for forever.
Yep. And
when I sold my dental office, I was looking for what I wanted to do next. And I had several friends, I'm not as young as I used to be. And now, when you start hitting your late 40s, you start seeing people around you start to die, which is a scary situation, right? And I had several friends. One of them was a dentist. Another one was just another colleague from another profession. But both of them died of sleep apnea. And that really woke me up, kind of scared me a little bit. So I started digging into it and was like, well, what do we need to do to help people get the treatment they need? And so many people were opposed to CPAP units. So, we were looking for how we can help. And that's where we really stumbled into the oral appliance therapies. And what's nice, for us, that's all we do. We're not like a dental office that does everything else, cleanings, fillings, everything. All we treat is sleep apnea. So we've really fine-tuned and honed it so it's very comfortable and easy for the patients.
It seems to be pretty, talking about sleep apnea, it seems to be pretty pervasive around here.
Yeah, once you're over 40, about 1 in 2 people have it.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's startling.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, if you have a bed partner, you hear them snoring, well, that's the first thing you go to. And it shows up in everything from heart disease to strokes to, you name it, almost everything is affected by how you sleep.
Some friends I know that have sleep apnea, they'll say that when they did a sleep test to show they had apnea officially, that, they were, their breathing stopped for, seconds at a time, more than seconds at a time, some in almost a minute. Several times a night. It can kill you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And what we see, we do a lot of home sleep tests, so people don't have to go to
So you do as well? Okay.
Yeah,
great.
So you don't have to go to a sleep center or anything like that. You can actually take the unit home, and we show you how to hook it up and everything. It's super easy. But insurance pays for it. It's not something that's, out of the ordinary. But most of these people, they're getting their oxygen saturations down to 80%. And when you link that with COVID, oh my word, it's a killer.
It is.
So, just imagine blowing all the air out of your lungs and then holding your breath. Most of us, when we hold our breath, we take a big gasp of air, right? Big, deep breath, and then we're going to hold our air through a tunnel or something. Well, blow all your air out, and now just hold your breath. Don't take another breath. Try to do that for even 20 seconds. You're going to panic. And that's what happens with sleep apnea. You've let all your air out, and then you stop breathing.
My goodness. And we're joined by Dr. Drew Chabot, Rest Assured. All right, Dr. Chabot, again, you are offering oral appliances for people who really do not want a sleep apnea machine.
Yeah, that's it.
How does that work? You just right in the mouth there?
So, yeah, you got to have some teeth. Okay. That's a given. You got to have a few teeth so we can have it stay in place.
Sure.
But then it's just a matter of the appliance goes in and we advance the mandible. So your lower jaw, we just titrate it, and we have a little adjustments that we can pull the lower jaw forward just a little bit. And a lot of people, I've heard, have a misconception that this is going to cause TMJ and everything else. No, it doesn't do that. If it's done properly, you won't have any issues like that. But we can advance the mandible, which pulls the base of the tongue forward a little bit, opening your airway. So we manually can hold your airway open at night so it's not collapsing. And that's how now your body gets its natural ability to breathe. Same thing you do with, if you're doing CPR, what's the first thing you do? Advance the mandible, right?
That's right.
And that's what we're doing. We're advancing the mandible so we hold the airway open for the patient.
Well, if this interests you, and I'd say it interests a lot of our audience, rest assured, Dr. Drew Chabot, you've probably heard of Dr. Chabot over the years in the dental practice, and now rest assured, and you're right here in Cleveland. And again, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, you can call the radio station here, or you can call us at 790-0123. Alicia will take your call. She's super good at getting back to you, and we'll help you. When we bill insurance for this, Medicare covers this. There's really no reason for people not to get treatment.
790-0123, rest assured. Dr. Chabot, always great to see you. And you're doing a great thing. It's a wonderful work you're doing.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, too.
Thank you, bud. Dr. Drew Chabot, everybody.
My dad says our new Linux system saves energy.
Well, saving energy means saving money.
A lot of money?
Yep.
Time for a raise in my allowance.
Savings year after year.
A big raise.
Call today for perfect air you can feel in your home and savings you can feel in your wallet.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Call Dale's Heating and Air today.
There is no bad time during the year to buy or sell with Bender Realty.
The market doesn't stop just because of the holidays. It's a really good time to still be buying and selling. There are people that are having job transfers, people are having babies, they're downsizing or maybe having to buy a bigger house. So just because it's the holidays doesn't mean that the market's going to stop.
If you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or rent, trust your friends at Bender Realty. 472-2173. Bender-Realty.com. Be home with Bender Realty.
At the Certified Angus Beef brand, we know the best moments, the ones that become cherished memories, don't just happen. We make them happen through the people we surround ourselves with, by the traditions we hold dear, and with the food we share. It takes a little effort, but finding the perfect meal, well, that's no effort at all. Just look for the Certified Angus Beef brand, because if it's not certified, it's not the best.
I am Cleveland Ford. I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Doug Vierthal, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together,
we are Cleveland Ford.
At Bliss, we are a full-service luxury Aveda spa and salon. So that means you can come in for massage therapy, and we offer facials, hydrofacials, really any type of relaxation you're looking for, and we can take care of that. And then on the salon side, our stylists are top-of-the-line Aveda certified stylists, ready to make you look beautiful. The staff are fantastic. There is over 40 years combined experience. Our owner, Miss Ava, is fantastic. She really holds quality in the highest, top of the line. You know, if it's at Bliss, you know it's going to be almost perfect because that is what we strive for every day.
Make it easy this holiday season with a Bliss gift card. Purchase now at blissandavedaspa.com.
There's a little song that my daughter sings. Now I can't really sing that well, but the last part of the song, and then I want to do Drummer Boy. But it goes, what then shall I give him, empty as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. And if I were a wise man, I would know my part. What then shall I give him? I must give my heart. Now, I don't know why they didn't name that the little guitar player boy. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to try this on this guitar, but let's see. Sound like a drum.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what you do when you have absolutely nothing else.
No, I don't believe that. Dole, for those who don't know and maybe new to the community, how did you get started? Talk about our friend, our late great Chad Adkins.
It started off. Of course, I was actually raised in the Church of God down in Jacksonville, Florida. My grandfather was the choir director for 33 years. And so my dad was a musician, everybody in the family. But I just didn't get it. It just didn't sit with me. So when I was 11 years old is really when I got saved.
Hey.
I knew in my knower for the first time that I was saved. And I raised, it was during a revival, and it was a little old lady that came. She was like Ma Kettle preaches. That's just the way she looked and this way she acted. But she just drew young people. 52 young people gave their hearts to the Lord. I was one of them. And I raised my hands to God. Nobody told me to, but I raised my hands to the Lord, and I said, God, give me a job to do, and I'll always tell people about you. I was 11, but I still remember that So, well, somebody asked me the other day, are your fingers insured? Of course, I've been using them for a long time.
Yes, you have.
I said, no, but they're on Medicare now. Does that? So I've been doing this a long time, and so I'm thankful for that. But Dad used to listen to Chet all the time, and Merle Travis. Chet Atkins was like that. Sort of a structured boom, boom. Merle Travis. Was in your face, and then he also listened to Les Paul. I woke up this morning feeling fine. I woke up with heaven on my mind. Now, that's the way my daddy played when I was a little kid, and we would sing. We'd get up on chairs, we'd sing around one microphone. He had his Les Paul guitar. And then later on, I there was a sailor that came to our church. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. And he came to our church and asked my father if he could play his guitar after church. We'd just jam a lot of times. And he started... picked. Oh. And so I ran to my mother, can we have him over for dinner, Yeah. Of course, dinner at our house is during the middle of the day, so we had breakfast, dinner, and supper.
Yep.
So he gave me a little lesson in finger picking, and when I was inducted into the National Thumb Pickers Hall of Fame at the Merle Travis Center in Kentucky, he was the first guy I called. Oh, he's still around. So
he's still with us.
He's still here. So everything kind of revolved around church, for me. That's why I'll always play in churches and minister. But the other side of that is I've been on the opera several times this year. I'm thankful for that too. And I do a lot of secular things. I just did the Christmas program for Sweetwater Sound, you know, and I do things like that. And then, of course, a lot of festivals and guitar, that type thing.
That's wonderful. DoleDykes.com, I would imagine. Is that it? DoleDykes.com.